Hello, can you hear me?
Does this work? Try that link. Can you
Whoa,
hear me?
why is it so low? What the fuck? Wait,
My voice?
I have you maxed out on Discord and I can't hear you.
I'll make my mic louder.
Huh?
Can you hear me now?
No.
And let's turn this up and go into here.
Hold on, I'm trying to like crank you. Give me a second.
Mhm.
Okay, now? Talk?
I'm also cranking.
What the fuck? I can't hear you. For shit. Alright,
Your sound on Discord's coming through all right now.
okay, wait, now it might be better. Try now?
It's okay. Well,
Mm,
my mic's a little messed up. How's now?
okay, I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
I'll speak up a little bit.
Hold on, I gotta figure out how Joe does this on OBS. Give me a second. I gotta do preview or something. Studio mode. Wait, one sec. Add source.
It's so cold. So
Video.
cold.
Game capture. Browser. Wait, it might be this. Hold on. URL. Like this? No, fuck. Shit. Oh, shit, that is it. Oh my god, dude, I'm fucking learning, man. Alright, transition. Boom. Okay. Alright, we're good. Alright, hold on one sec.
Transition. Whoa, there I am. I'm echoed.
Yeah, I don't know why you're echoing. Hold on. How do I mute?
Should I make myself here? Is this better?
No, wait, how are you echoing, actually? Wait, that's so fucking weird.
I was talking into OBS Ninja.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, you muted that.
So
Jesus Christ,
it's
that
good
echo
now, right?
is fucking creepy. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me figure out how. Oh, that's actually cool. The way that you're facing is opposite to how I'm facing.
Cool.
All right, hold on. Let me make sure that our dimensions are like the same or something.
Is the camera coming through? Okay. I just hooked this thing up.
No, it's good. It's good.
That's good.
That's good. Jesus Christ, dude.
I just put this thing together.
Oh no, dude. All right, hold on. Let me turn off text and everything. Okay. I can't get Twitch chat on the screen though. How do I get Twitch chat on the screen? Wait, let me see.
How much protein did you have today, LS?
How much what?
How much protein did you have today?
20. Hold on. 46, 92 plus 106 grams.
106.
Why?
It's tough. I'm at 170.
Why are you at 170 grams of protein? What?
Because I weigh 168. Gotta get a gram per pound.
Okay, dude. Okay.
It's the new Max Waldo arc. The new Max Waldo arc is to become aesthetically muscular. You'll see.
Okay.
You'll see.
Okay. What was I gonna say? So my personal trainer is Paul from T1, right?
Yeah.
And he told so his actual job is so this is gonna sound really fucking nuts. So he's an actual doctor, but just decided to not. He completed his residency and everything, and then he decided he just wants to do esports, right? So he's 30.
Mm-hmm.
So he finished school earlier than normal. Like he got his doctorate very quickly, did his residency, everything, and then he joined T1, right? But the oddest thing that he ever told me about like the body and digestion and stuff is that the body cannot process a certain amount of protein within a certain time window. And so if you overeat too much protein at once, it just doesn't matter. So like he told me, I think, to limit it to like 45 per meal max. Like,
so did he give you like a time frame for hours? Because I've always gotten different answers from people when I ask like, how much protein can I have per hour? How much protein can I have
he
per
said per
2
2
hours,
hours.
3 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah.
45 for 2 hours? All right, I'm getting some sort of average out of this. Where I was doing like, I'm thinking of it in terms of like 30 every 2 hours, but 45, that's great.
All right, hold on. I need Twitch chat. Give me a second. I don't know how to get Twitch chat. Okay, wait. There it is. Let me copy it. Okay, copy. Display. copy paste. Boom. Done. Transition. Bang. Bada bing bop. Boom. All right.
He
Done.
aspires to beat up Anya one day. No, but dude, I was watching Ludwig's event today.
Yes.
Holy
Yes.
shit, it's so exciting. I love watching this.
Were you
This was
watching it because
so much
Box was up?
fun. Yeah, but like I would watch it anyway. It's so amazing. I love this event. It's so
Okay.
cool.
Okay. Okay. Lovely. Lovely. All right. Let me. Does OBS capture itself if I move it on? It does. I don't know how to make it hide itself, but it's fine. Okay. What's the order of event? Let me write you everything. What's the order of events?
Whatever you want to talk about in whatever order. I'm down for anything.
Okay.
I watched so many drama videos today. I'm a drama frog now.
Around people on teams, not getting on teams. Dramas. Okay, we'll just go with that. We'll have that be the. Let me tweet out. Hold on, I gotta tweet out.
Ooh, the parentheses coming out.
Parentheses.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Wait, actually, let me use the bathroom really quick. You can talk to Twitch chat because I have to take a number 2. Give me 1 sec. All right, BRB.
Oh, you have to take a number 2? Okay, I got this. Let me think. Maybe there's a story I could tell while you're gone. Oh fuck, he's already gone. Wait, Chad, do you think there's like, is there any like story that I could go for here? Is there any story? I can't quite think. I can't quite think of a story that I could say. There probably is one though, right? Talk about the TikToks. Just making some funny TikToks with some friends. It's real simple. Not saying the mouse story, guys. You already know it. You've all heard it before. You just want me to say it again. Got some good TikTok ideas, but I can't tell you guys any of the TikTok ideas because they have to be like shocking and cool and funny. Yeah, you have to watch the TikTok and be like, oh, Max Waldo's got himself into another wacky League of Legends situation. Oh man. How's the team doing? We're still in off season, so everyone's on vacation for just a little bit longer. But still keeping up with League of Legends. Saw some people playing ARAM Clash today. Did you guys win your ARAM Clash? How did you guys do in your ARAM Clash? Yesterday, I played on a team with Fudge and we won. But then me and Fudge broke up today and we lost. Both of us lost, so fuck. League boxing. I was thinking about this all day. Like how could there be a League of Legends event where there's boxing? I don't know. It's just not as entertaining. I don't think it would do as well as either Smash or chess. These games are so good. These games are so good for this. Like someone gets like punched in the head, they can't form a sentence, and then like I saw KJ do the coolest thing on Fox I've ever seen. While he like couldn't move his hands and like couldn't think straight, and then like it's also funny when like people can't do basic things. Like people couldn't do like the basic chess moves, and then the interviews are so good. I mean they're kind of scary actually because somebody just got their head punched right? And then they actually can't form a sentence where like someone got asked a question and he went, "What?" Because he like couldn't. I don't know if he just didn't hear or they like, couldn't process what was happening. But they did so many interviews after people got hit in the head that might not have been safe. It's so interesting. I'm like, oh, I have no clue if I could form a sentence or be coherent after someone punched me in the face like this. It's really impressive and it's so entertaining to watch. Mundo dodgeball and boxing? Oh fuck, this would be entertaining. Like game modes like this. Oh fuck, that sounds like really fun. There's an idea in here somewhere. And like almost all the fights were super entertaining. Uh like 4 out of 5 fights were just amazing to watch. I don't know. This event was so good. Imagine getting punched, not thinking clearly, then have to lane league. I don't know. I thought about that specific example, but I think a lot of people can just do it. I think a lot of people can just lane after they get their head punched. You know, a lot of the stuff is automatic, or it's like muscle memory, right? Where maybe it's good. I'm just not sure. It has to be very specific. The thing about like the chess and the melee thing is you can do it in rounds, and it only takes a couple of minutes, and it's really fast paced. They're doing 7 rounds, and like I don't know if that's like 10 or 15 minutes. They're doing 7 rounds of something. Hmm. Yeah, Alice is gonna be like 10 minutes, man. That's all right. It's my stream now. I like these cameras. I like how the cameras are set up. But before, when he would do podcasts, he would have like this cool overlay. There's no overlay right now. Maybe that's because Joe is not in the building right now. Who would be a matchup for Fudge in the boxing? Whippo. Whippo would be a matchup for Fudge. Yeah. I liked your TikTok. Thank you. Thank you, oh my Lysol. TikToks are fun to make. I have a lot of ideas for League of Legends TikToks that I'm gonna get started with. Yeah, Fudge vs. Whippo is really, really cool. I think Fudge would win though. I was talking to Fudge about this, and he said that someone he thinks he couldn't beat. Fuck, what was the first one? He said that him versus Trainwrecks would be really good, and he said that him versus Hassan he'd probably lose. I don't know if he could beat Trainwrecks either. But this is amazing. If we can get Fudge in a ring with Trainwrecks or Hassan, this is amazing. Fudge probably wouldn't win, but it
Why
would be
wouldn't Fudge
so
win? You counting Fudge out?
against Hassan. Against Hassan.
How big is Hassan?
He's tall. I think he might actually be taller than Fudge.
Yeah, but he's the
Does anyone
Fudge
know Hassan's
factor. Oh,
height?
well, he's also double Fudge's age, no?
Age don't matter so much. You got like reach, weight. I mean, maybe age might matter in the opposite direction, right? It might work against him, but
No. Wait a minute. Wouldn't? I mean, because Fudge is what? Isn't Fudge like 19?
yeah, I think he's 20.
Oh, did he just turned 20 then, right? Or something like? Oh no, his birthday's in May. Oh my god, yeah, his birthday's a week before yours. So wait a minute. Okay, so he just turned 20. Like, I'm not like totally familiar, but like unless you've been doing like MMA or like training for like years up until it, wouldn't 20 versus like 36, 37 be a really big disadvantage?
Hassan's not 36 or 37, but I don't think
I thought
so.
Hassan's 36.
No.
Hassan,
but I don't think that's a huge.
What? Wait, Hassan is 31?
Yeah.
Dude, why did I think he was? What?
I mean, I think it just has to do with your composition. Like, otherwise, wouldn't like a lot of like MMA fighters be like a lot younger? But you see, like,
okay.
There's like a 45-year-old who's like knocking people out.
Okay. Fuck, I don't know how to hide OBS, man. Chat, hold on. Does anyone know how to hide OBS so that I can actually look at Max like while we're having the combo? Like, do you guys know how to hide OBS on this? Like, Joe would know how to do that. Let me see if Joe's around. Joe obviously knows. I don't know how to hide OBS. How do I make OBS hide itself? Does anyone know? File settings. Where? File settings.
You figured that out.
My eyes.
You stalled for so long. I have to pee now.
Oh. Wait, this? Yes? Apply, boom. Oh! I stalled for so long that now he has to pee. Guys, let's zoom in. Oh, why did my hair get flat, dude? I didn't use hairspray. Fuck me, dude. It's fine, whatever, I'm gay. Settings, general, and it's one of those ticky boxes. Joe, Twitch chat told me. They think, honestly, you've been replaced. They seem to have all the answers. All right. Do you know if Hit the Low is still coaching? No, he got married, and I think he has a daughter now. So I don't think he actually does coaching anymore. Hello, Mr. What is going on here? He's fucking with his mic.
How's your day going, LS?
My day? So I had fucking therapy at 10 a.m. And then so I did that, and then after that, what did I do after that actually? Can't actually remember. But anyways, I ended up falling asleep shortly thereafter. Like, and then I slept until 8, and now it's 11. So, been up 3 hours.
Oh, cool.
Cool. How's your day, Max? You just wake up?
No. So, I woke up. It's 6 a.m. now. My sleep schedule's a little bit messed up. So
Okay.
I woke up 12, 15 hours ago. I'm staying up until the morning. We're gonna go to Vegas for the esports awards. We'll be in Vegas for a couple of days. Pretty cool.
You're gonna gamble?
You know, you know, probably not. Probably not. But you know, whatever happens in Vegas, it might just have to stay, but probably not.
Okay. Okay. You never learned
Yeah.
poker, but I mean it's fine. Okay. So all right, what's gonna be our first topic? Let me add a text thing because this is like super scuffed. All right, hold on, ready? Current topic. All right, so the first thing that you wanted to talk about, because you never got to talk about it publicly, right? And obviously there was the thing with Vigar. So we can talk about like coaching prices because coaching prices for the public. Okay, so obviously like Neace is probably the main focal point of this, right? The $350, and then also like people under him that are not like you know how I used to have like you and other people like you, Malice, and some others that were like in the Discord that would get coaching and stuff, and then like I would always recommend Vigar, but I never had him in the Discord and stuff like that. Neace has people like that if you go to his website, and their rates I think are also exorbitant. Let me just confirm what the rates are.
I never knew that.
Huh? You didn't know that he had people under him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has people under him if you go to his website that you can also get coaching. Now, I'm not familiar with what his cut is of what they earn. Wow, his website is so slow. Oh, my God. Okay, so he has some people I've never heard of before. And their prices are all $150. They're all $150. Except for Saskio, who's unironically probably the most known out of all of these people. Because Saskio used to be the top coach on like a lot of the old coaching websites that all died. I mean, Phalaris is on there, right? That's the jungle guy. That's the guy that does all the jungle routes.
Yeah, that's the guy who clears. Yeah,
that's the guy who clears, right? Right. But I don't know. Now, obviously, like clearing in itself and like how you arrive at the clears is probably a skill set that is transferable. But okay, so obviously these prices I do not think are actually reflective of the value, right? I think the prices are reflected by supply and demand. But the whole reason that this whole thing started with you and me was because I was on your stream like a week ago, and I saw that now you're charging 200, and I'm like, holy fuck, right?
Yep.
Because this was a convo that I think you and I had back in Korea in like 2019 or 2020, where I could have kept charging more, but I was feeling bad about charging more. Even though like you were getting so many coaching sessions and you could keep upping it and people were still coming in. And then for me, it got to a point where it didn't make sense because I felt like the average person that was buying it was doing it really irresponsibly. But then I saw that you had it for 200 the other day, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because you're actively doing it, and you're still getting requests.
Yeah. Yeah. So the main thing that I'm accounting for is balancing the amount of like requests that I get with what I can do, right? So I'm trying to find the balance of if I put all my effort into a coaching session, first of all, it lasts a really long time, and it's really hard. Like I get done with the call and I can't think. So I have to like, if I do 2 in a day, I have to space them out a really long time. So I can't do that many coaching sessions right now. There was a time where I don't know if now I can just try a lot harder in the coaching session, but before it seemed like I could do like 3 in a day or like it's sometimes even 4. Uh, but I don't think that's like I think I would be really tired. I would not be able to do a whole lot in a day if I was doing that many coaching sessions.
Mm.
So my capacity to do a lot of coaching sessions has gone down a lot, and it will as well like during the season. I'm not going to be able to coach very actively. So if I get tons of requests, I'm not going to be able to fill them all. So this is the main thing that I'm accounting for is like how do I set a price so that it aligns the amount of requests I get with what I can do. Uh, yeah, that's the first thing.
Okay.
What else do you think? Like what other
Well, I mean,
I can ask you a
I
question.
can you address the point that I have, which is like, do you think it's responsible to people that are often purchasing it? Not that your price is unfair when you consider supply and demand in like your own time, but do you think, or do you agree that most of the people that purchase it are doing so irresponsibly?
I don't know. It's a non-essential service, and there's lots of non-essential services.
Right.
So, like, I don't know if the average non-essential service people buy irresponsibly. What do you mean by irresponsibly? Like they're spending their last dollar, or like they can't pay rent because they buy the coaching?
Sure. So for me, my main thing with it was that I was a party to the transaction, and I could be made aware. Sometimes, obviously, I'm not made aware until like after, right? Like, how many coaching sessions did we do where the person would like? Well, there was a couple that I don't know if you remember where like the person would message for like money back because they didn't have money, and this would be after the coaching session would end,
Mhm.
right? Like weeks after, right? Um, and I think that that was something that I encountered a lot from like 2014, from when I first started to like 20. When did I stop doing it? I would say 2019 is probably when I stopped doing public coaching sessions, right? So for me, when I was a direct party to the transaction, it made me feel weird if I allowed it when I
Mhm.
didn't need. I don't see. I'm trying to think back to my exact memory. Um, But I agree with you in that there's a lot of non-essential transactions that take place on the day-to-day, right? People will go out and buy soda, they will buy Doritos, they will buy like snacks, they'll buy all these
Yeah.
other things, right? And if you
So
add all
how do
of
you
this up,
control it?
right, how do you so for me, I can't control the Dorito company or the gas station or the mini mart or like anything like that, right? But if they were
Mhm.
personally coming to my store, I am a personal party to the transaction.
Yeah.
And that's where I struggled with the emotional side of it once I no longer needed to keep doing coaching to make money.
Mhm. Okay. Uh, so what do you think you could do to like still do coaching? What do you
So
think like
for
a solution
me,
is
my
for your
idea
case?
was, if I do return to public coaching, my idea was to be that rather than increase the supply and the demand, that I could paywall certain features of like coaching behind something that was microtransactional in order to offset the increase in like the hourly. So like my idea for that was like, some coaching sessions would still be done on stream. They'd go up on YouTube, and then a handful of them or others of them would go on Patreon at like a different tier behind a paywall, right? At a
Mhm. Mhm.
microtransaction, and that would prevent me from having to inflate my price to an amount that I didn't feel comfortable with anymore.
Yeah. So I was going to suggest that if if you see this as like a non-essential transaction, right? The more expensive you make it, the more you'll remove the people who are going to spend the money irresponsibly relative to like a rent payment or them not having
Right.
any money at all, right? So what if you could charge $1,000 for a coaching session and people bought it, but the people who bought it had a surplus, right? They wanted to use that $1,000 because they wanted private coaching from somebody who was really good at League of Legends, and they had the money to spare. That's one direction where I think you could go. That if you keep going, if you bring your price up even further, then you
Right.
get out of this range where people are making the irresponsible decisions because they don't have that money to make the irresponsible decision with. What do you think?
Um. So one of the first things that I start thinking of is like luxury brands. right? Like brands that regular people don't typically afford, right? Like how many so I know we're gonna get a little sidetracked and then we'll come right back to the direct question, right? But like how many people go out and actually buy a Lamborghini, or like a Porsche or something like very very expensive, right? Typically I imagine that the average person is not buying that, right? The person that has an excess surplus amount of cash is going to be the person, which I do believe is why some of those brands have actually explicitly said that they don't do advertisements, is because the type of people that they're trying to reach are not the average person, and that's why they don't do the ads and stuff like that. So for me, I think yes, if I know that I was always engaging with someone that had a lot of money, or like an obscene amount of money, then I would feel fine. But the problem for me is that from doing hundreds or thousands of coachings, right, over the year, I know that that person was fucking one in, several hundred, realistically, right? It was, and when I know that, right, the same way that a really rich person will walk into a 7-Eleven, right? A multimillionaire or fucking a super millionaire or sometime, they will walk into a 7-Eleven and, I mean, that's fine, right? The money doesn't matter for them. Or they'll walk into a regular clothing store, they'll buy something, etc., right? But that is not the norm. And so for me or us, right, League of Legends coaching, public, whatever, I felt bad about it, which is why I stopped, right? That's why I discontinued. That's why I tried to push everyone onto you. And Vigar and Autumn and Malice and like all these other people in the past, was because, one, you guys were more affordable because your prices were lower. And I felt like the difference that they would actually gain from those coaching sessions was negligible for their level of play, if it even would have mattered then.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. In that direction. I have another solution for you, right?
Okay.
So we went in this, we talked about this direction where you could go really expensive and you could treat it as like an exclusive thing to get. The other direction you could go is what you were just talking about, where you were just pushing the clientele that you couldn't do coaching with onto people who were cheaper.
Right.
You could also do coaching for free. And you could vet people to, like, let's say that you raffled people through subscriber tiers. That
Right.
you like raffled off a subscriber. You have the subscriber join a Discord. You have someone like a mod, or some coach talk to them for a few minutes to make sure that
Right.
they're prepared, that they're serious about getting coaching, and then you get to make content that you post as a YouTube video or post on your Patreon, but you don't take the money from somebody and don't run this risk that you see of them making an irresponsible financial decision. That's another direction I think you could go with it.
Yeah, that was something that I guess I never considered, actually. The only thing that I think would feel bad about that is that it does potentially prevent people from getting it who actually do want it a lot more than others, or that would be
It
willing
levels
to
the
pay.
playing field so much.
Right, exactly. So like, I don't think that's bad. I think that I think that I am at a point where I could do that, right? I don't actually need the money. I don't even technically need to stream anymore, right? In most cases, but for me, like, I guess I'm just thinking about it where I think it would kind of be weird. Well, I think that your angle actually does make sense, right? I'm not going to go full I can't even speak. Help me out here.
Philosophical.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go full with philanthropy, right?
Philanthropy, fuck.
There it is.
All right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go full that direction. Although that is something I actually do want to start doing, and what I plan to do next year with content. That's what I've already talked about with Dan. Because I find more joy in that. Just in general, right? I think the reactions to everything are like more wholesome. I think the energy is better. I think that things like that are good, right? So that is something that I do want to do, right? Like this year was the year that I made my first like really large donation, even though like there's still some people that are like, it's not enough. Like 20, if I get, like the 20K donation to, or the 20 million Korean won donation almost, right? To the Halloween thing.
What Halloween thing? Sorry, I wasn't.
The
I wasn't
Halloween
around.
disaster in Itaewon. Do you know what happened?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
that
about
was
the
really fucked. That was really, really fucked. And so Yeah, I mean, I think like stuff like that is good. But also I enjoy like everything that surrounds it in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, the main thing that I wanted to like get across here was you get to decide how much money your time is worth,
Right.
and when you make that decision, you don't force anybody into agreements about your conclusion there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to control the decisions that people make in a market. So ways that you can account for it because you're in the special position that you're in is you can either like raise it up a lot because you don't need the money, and if people don't go and get the coaching, it's okay. And the people who do, like
Right.
you'll be happy to give it to them. Or you can just bring it to the ground, right? And do it whenever you want. Uh, so those are the options, and you can use any of those ideas for any of your purposes. But
Right.
mm,
Mm, but okay, so let's move this a little bit, right? Let's talk about public coaching prices, supply demand versus actual quality gained.
mm. How do you
So
judge
this is
that?
right, exactly. How do you judge that, right? Like so, like when I was just talking a little bit ago, and I was saying like, okay, if this random platinum person wanted coaching from me, there's no difference in 2018, 2019 versus getting coaching from you. As
Mm,
long as like you would follow the same methodology and stuff and like whatnot to helping them get better, etc. Right? The difference
mm.
was I think in 2018 you were what, $60 an hour, 65, and I was
70.
120. You were 70?
Mm,
Okay. So you were 70
yeah.
and I was like 120 to 130 or something like that.
Mm,
And so I thought, like, you can go get 2 coaching sessions almost with Max instead of getting 1 with me. And then
mm,
also, I just thought, like, that is a much better, like, you had bundles and I didn't have bundles, right? So, like, they
mm,
could, if they wanted more coaching sessions, it could actually get even cheaper. And I thought that would just be a better decision. Um, Now, for, like, we'll talk about, like, because I know that you want to talk about the Neace stuff, the Neace coaching sessions, because of the value that you perceive the person is actually getting, or from having watched like Chase Shako or Tarzan like talk about Neace's coaching and stuff.
mm,
Um, like, yes, I think the value that most people are going to get out of coaching sessions outside of like a select handful of people is almost non-existent.
mm. Well, how would you know? So I'm interested. You talked about like a random platinum player, but I want to put you in this example. So
Yeah.
let's say that you're playing a new game, right? You're trying to improve at a new game. Is there a game that you've been playing recently that you would like to improve at, or a game that you're newer to, where you would be not in a position where in league you can kind of see through what people are saying?
No, I mean let's use no, but let's go back to when
With Magic,
you
for
lived
example.
with me, right? When I flew Valentine out, right?
Yeah, for Magic, yeah, and you
Right,
hired him
okay.
to like
Yeah,
coach you through
so
Magic.
I brought Valentine out for Magic. Now,
How did
for Valentine, he had like so I think with me it's going to be a little bit different because I'm already in the coaching sphere, right? So I know the language to look for. I know the speech patterns that people are going to use, or like all these other types of things, right? I know when someone's just talking versus talking with substance. I
you?
think that there's really clear discernments. Um,
Mhm,
and when you can ask someone a question to a question to a question and see that they can consistently keep following up without stumbling. I think like
yeah.
that displays clearly a very strong baseline understanding. Um,
Mhm.
but with like
So
Valentine, yeah,
yeah,
go.
yep, yep. Oh, I was gonna ask like what made you sure that Valentine knew what he was talking about, right? Like what things did he say that made you confident in him?
So I think for Valentine, I think the biggest thing that made me confident for him, right, was his results in what should be really high variance formats. Right, he had really consistent, solid results in what should otherwise be extremely high variance,
Mhm,
which I think lends credibility to a really strong fundamental understanding of like what's going on. But then Valentine was able to do those walks, those questions, right? He was able to do the introspective questions. He was able to layer everything out and like why it doesn't work, and he could sequence it. and he could have that discussion, right? And that's a skill set that I think is very demonstrable when you're having a conversation with someone about whether they actually possess any knowledge of the substance matter. Because I did talk to other Magic the Gathering people, right? Or like when we would go to the card shops, right, with the Korean pros that they could speak Magic, they could not actually think about as many steps or as many things as Valentine. Nor could they break down things like nearly as well. Even though they're both pros, it was mountains between them in terms of fundamental understanding of the game.
Okay. So you're talking about he's got good results in a format that has a lot of variance to it, so it's hard to control all of the outcomes, but he consistently gets
Sure.
good results.
Sure.
He has like lots of ideas to go through where he's taking into account a lot of things that are happening at any moment, but then he's able to like reduce it into simple forms.
Yes.
So like you're saying that when he can reduce all of this chaos and all of these variants into things that you can control and things you can keep track of, that's that valuable idea, right, that you can use for your benefit, for your gain, that actually helps you improve. When you
Right,
can
because
take into account.
it's not static to whatever is happening in that current moment. Like,
Mm,
I can
mhm.
take things that Valentine would tell me about the game comprehensively and apply it to future formats, future decks, future,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, his ideas are dynamic, right? Like
Sure.
they change. The idea that he gives you can apply to so many situations that
Right.
it's not just in that moment that he's telling you an answer. He's giving you a way to see a problem or to
Right.
see many problems, right? And then, okay, yeah, this is good stuff. This is how I think about how you can solve a problem is you have to start by reducing it to like its simplest form, and you
Right.
have to be able to talk about like why that simple form is there in that place, and then build up from there.
Right.
And if you don't have that, it's really hard to talk about or to tell somebody else how they should improve in a way that will like consistently help them get there without
Right.
the person just intuitively understanding what you're telling them. Uh, yeah, I think these are good examples. Um, so let me think. Let me move back because now we've talked about why you
So
were
so
sure
so
that
we're cycling
Valentine
this
was
back
good.
to like for instance, do you think so like you give me your take on watching like for instance the Neace coaching sessions, right? And obviously, yes, he's going to be the face of this topic because he has the most exorbitant price. Which technically there's nothing wrong with his price when you argue supply and demand, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about whether or not the price has any sort of reflection on the actual value. Not that he doesn't have a right to charge that, right? The same way that like I have a fucking let me just use like a designer brand thing, right? I have a Louis Vuitton belt, right? Louis Vuitton belt does the same exact thing for me that a 10-cent belt from a thrift store would do. Does the same exact thing. It has the same functional usage, right? So in reality, the belt is not necessary, right? It's a luxury purchase. It doesn't do anything. There's no value there. The
Mhm.
value would be for myself, right? How I feel like with it, or how I feel purchasing it, or whatever. But I don't think the same can actually be said for the person purchasing the coaching sessions, because I don't think that's why they're just getting the coaching sessions, especially because the coaching session is a consumable in a way, right? It's not something that it's not something that you keep for. Let me add an asterisk here to like try to help explain what I'm thinking. I would be much more likely to buy a $100 T-shirt than I would to buy a $100 meal. Does that make
Mm.
sense? Because the T-shirt stays.
Yeah, that seems like a more valuable purchase over the course of time, where the meal stays with you as a memory, right? And someone
Yes,
could say that
exactly.
they value the physical idea of the shirt more than the memory of the meal. Uh,
Right.
Give or take, like to each their own in a spot like this. But I understand why someone would see the shirt as more valuable in this instance. Yeah.
Sure. So what is your stance on the price versus what you're getting?
So I actually don't think there's anything really wrong with him placing his price at 350,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not going to review a Nice coaching session right now. But I don't think you're getting $350 worth of coaching, and that's just the number that he's set the value of an hour of
Right.
his time at. So the price of the coaching really reflects that. The price of the coaching reflects how much he values an hour of his time. It doesn't reflect the quality of the coaching that you're getting necessarily. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I wanted to talk through a few things about like how you can identify like useful ideas in coaching so that you know when someone knows what they're talking about. A lot of people do post their coaching sessions publicly. So this is another good strategy for people looking to buy coaching from someone is you can watch the videos that they do post publicly and you think like, do I like how this person is approaching problems? Do I think this person is being effective with how they're
Right.
talking to people about the game? Before you make any of these decisions purchasing. I think that's a more responsible way of doing it because the price that's in your face that they're showing you is just what they value their time as.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
So, do you think there's a problem with his prices?
No, I don't. I don't think there's a problem with his prices. I've been one of his only like defenders on that. He's free to charge 350 on the basis
Yeah.
of supply and demand. What
Mhm.
I feel emotionally uncomfortable with is, I feel like the 350 is like when you go to an underground shopping mall and you buy like a Supreme sweater and it's not really Supreme. Okay, like that is my okay. Like when you know, you get what I'm saying. You got that nice shirt. It says Louis Vuitton on it. It's not really Louis Vuitton. Okay, like actually that shirt
Yeah.
was made 2 nights ago in a fucking warehouse behind the building. Like, um,
Mhm.
now maybe some people are gonna say that like I'm saying that it's like fake there or whatever. All I'm saying is that you're not actually getting what I think most people think that they're getting when they make the purchase.
Mm. Yeah. You don't. But these sort of things, you should do your research and you should figure out like how to. Oh, a great example. I bought a pre-built computer recently.
No,
Let me think of this
why
applies.
would you
Let me
do
think of this
that?
applies. Let me think of
Why
this
would you?
applies.
Why
Let me
would
think.
you
This
do
it's a
that? By the
really
way, I can
it's
only say this for like another month or something. I have a spot. I'm gonna no. It's fine.
shit. Okay, let me think of this applies. Oh my god. It's because it's a funny story, so I want to tell it.
Yeah, it sounds
Um
really funny. Yeah, I'm fucking laughing. Actually, I'm on my phone right now because you're so uninteresting. But yeah, okay. Yeah, cool, 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 cool.
um it doesn't fully apply. I'll still tell the story. It's kind of
Okay.
funny. Uh so I bought a pre-built computer and it showed up like around on time, but like a little bit late. And there's problems with the RAM. And what I did is I didn't check like any of the user reviews or anything, or didn't look to see like what people actually got when they bought the PC.
Yeah. What
So
brand was
I
this?
I
Did you use discount code
it,
Travis Gafford?
what does a discount? What does it? Oh, for Alienware. Oh no, I didn't buy Alienware.
Gonna
No,
tell
no, I'm
Travis
sorry.
that.
I
Go ahead.
returned it. I returned it. Uh, But then I went through like all the pre-built PCs and I went through all of the reviews and I tried to figure out like do people actually get what they're paying for?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, but I actually don't want to buy a pre-built PC again. I spent so much time building uh, like every computer that I've had personally, and I kind of want to keep doing that. Have you built a lot of computers,
Well, I have Phil
Les, or do
build
you
all
just
my
buy
PCs.
pre-builts?
Usually every 3 to 4 years.
Mhm. All right.
Yeah,
Next
usually every
time
three to
I'll
four
talk
years.
to Travis Gafford and make sure that I use code Travis at
That's
alienware.com.
right. That's right. That's right. You better. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We're good here.
But how do we get on this topic? What? How do we just talk about
I
rebuilt
was giving
computers?
another parallel to make it a responsible financial decision.
Okay.
Uh, I think we're good.
Um. So at what point though do you start actively trying to tell people that what they're getting is not you know what these coaching prices are like. You know what these. Like. Look, I think that I think that they're all fine to charge whatever they want for coaching, right? I think it's totally fine. I think this is like going into a hotel room and going to the mini bar, and a bottle of water is $10. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, what these people should be doing is just doing a little bit more research, and the same value that they would get if they just walked out of the hotel to a convenience store across the street, the same bottle of water would be like $1 or something.
Yeah, but then you're
in terms
paying
of
the
value.
markup for the convenience in this
Sure.
case.
I mean, what's the convenience in this instance, right? If you search LoL coaching on Google, he's the first thing that comes up. Is that the minibar like comparison? Let me search LoL coaching. So Fiverr actually comes up first. Let me search challenger coaching. Is this what you have to do to get him to come up first? Challenger coaching LoL. I can't get him to come up first. Oh no, he's okay. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 6th. When I search challenger coaching.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Also,
coaching 6th result.
I mean, I think that people are like kind of fine to. Well, what is your stance with like having things like this, right? Like his statement on his site is that Neace and his approved coaches are the best League of Legends coaching staff in the industry.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm pretty sure you can just say that, like that's his opinion.
That. Okay. Yeah,
I think you can say that.
That's fine.
Again, I don't think that that's totally true, but I don't know. They might be the best in some ways. I don't totally know.
Okay.
Yeah, and some people would feel like that's like, and they might totally believe it too. Is the other thing. Like, if they really do believe that, then it makes sense that they would put that on the website.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
For some people, like, I think that for some people, Neace is probably the best coach for them. Just because, like, I can't say that I know that he's doing so many things wrong that I'm better in like every way. I don't think that's necessarily true. What do you think? Do you think Neace is the best coach for some people?
I'm all right. So like when you just used yourself as an example, I'm trying to imagine in what facet of League of Legends coaching, or even like probably life coaching, right? I know that's even gonna sound weird, but I mean like direction, right? Or with like mental aid, or like having a conversation, etc. In what way could you imagine that he would likely be better? Or you like because you're making the claim that it's like possible that he could be, but why?
Yeah, yes. I'm saying it's possible that he could be. I don't know. I'm not super confrontational in coaching. It's because I've come to conclusions that that's not often, like, I don't think it's very helpful. But that's just my perspective. I don't think that that's. It's kind of like even more natural to me, where I don't think that it's like better or worse. But people might need that, right? People might need that coming from somebody like Neace to be like super confrontational.
Do you remember the combo that me, you, and Fudge had at I'm not gonna say the name of the house because maybe that's too revealing. But you know what house it is? The old LCS house.
Yeah.
In the practice room, where we were actually talking about the difference in approach, where I would be very confrontational and heated, and Fudge said that he felt like he needed that sometimes because it would make him defend his point stronger.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think sometimes you need it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't you just make a claim that you think it's not good to be confronted, or did I misunderstand?
No, I said that, and then I said I don't actually know, and I don't think that my way is better or worse. Actually, I said that I think it's just more natural to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that some people need that, and some people are bad at it. But it's more natural for me, right, to try to explain things to people and to be less confrontational and sort of just work with the ideas. I think that's what I'm best at. So that's why I don't do the other thing, because it'd be very difficult for me. Okay. So maybe that's an area where Neace would be a great coach for somebody if they need someone like that. That'd be super confrontational with them. But then maybe they should get coaching with you. Maybe for $0 in a raffle. Or $1,000.
What are you saying? What are you saying? What does that mean?
I'm just saying you could do this. I'm just saying it's a cool idea. And you could do what I'm saying that I probably won't do.
You're saying I'll get mad at them?
You might. You might not. And I'm not saying that that's better or worse than any other thing.
Oh my god.
But I'm saying that you could do it. And I think it'd
Okay.
be a cool idea.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. 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 Okay. All right. Nice. Nice. All right. What are your what are your thoughts generally when you watch other public coaching sessions
Here's
by
something
people?
I tried. Yeah. Something I get hung up on
Yeah.
that I've noticed in myself that I don't like is that when someone says something that's wrong, I get fucking pissed. Uh, so I try to focus on this less because I imagine that I don't say everything right. Because if I watch coaching sessions that I do from a couple of years ago, I don't agree with a lot of things that I say. Uh, so generally, when I watch other people's coaching sessions, I'll get frustrated that I don't agree with like claims or like things that the coach will tell the player to do. Uh, but what's more important, what I should be focusing on more, is the reasonings that the coach equips the person they're coaching with, so
Right.
that they can like handle problems in the future in a better way. And then even then, when we get to that point, if I don't agree with like the method that the coach gives whoever they're coaching to like handle the problem in a better way, I'll get fucking pissed at that too. I don't know. That's something that I'm trying to stop doing. I'd be more understanding when I listen to like other coaches because I notice that I get mad a lot when I listen to other coaches do stuff. What do you think? Do you ever feel like that? You're looking at your
Um.
phone. Who are you
No, I
texting?
got
Your mom?
messaged. I got messaged by Mr.
I'm
Hero.
watching you. Okay, no problem.
Stop, Jesus Christ. Oh my lord. Okay. So, whatchamacallit? No, what the God, what is that? Solar? Son of a bitch, he's unsubbed. All right. So, okay. No, so for past coaching sessions and watching past coaching sessions, I agree. So, if you say that you watch your own past coaching sessions, right? You say that you get
Yeah.
mad because you don't agree with some of the stuff that you say. But
Mm.
when I watch past coaching sessions, I would. So I guess I don't get mad at myself, but I do spot errors in things that I said, or that there's actually a better optimization. But I don't get mad in the sense that I think that if I showed my past self the optimization, they would accept it, because that's the whole point, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
I feel like
if right,
I feel like I missed an opportunity to help the person in a better way in the
mm-hmm,
past. So
mm-hmm.
I'm like, ah, shit, like I could have done so much better if I knew like this, and this. So that's what I'll be frustrated that like it, that reflection of myself, of me 2 years in the future, right, looking back at myself, seeing flaws, then it's like, oh, I'm gonna do a coaching session now, and then in 2 years I'm gonna see so many problems with it, and it's gonna
Right.
feel like I'm doing a bunch of like insufficient coaching because there's so much that I keep getting better, obviously, and there's things I do poorly.
Well, do you think it's
So
necessarily that you're getting better, or do you think that So that's an interesting thing. Is it actually better? Do you know what I mean?
oh, yeah. Nice, you caught me. I try to stop saying stuff like that. It's different, but I can't tell you that it's better. Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Right,
I
right,
agree.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Uh,
I'm not sure if it's actually always better.
yeah, yeah, I
Like
don't
I
know.
think there's things that I used to do that would likely likely be better depending on like what you're
Mhm.
trying to do versus
Oh, totally.
whatever
Yes, it just
happens
really
now,
depends
right?
on your goals.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. The goals, the goals really matter. Okay, so for me,
Mhm.
so I mean, my main conclusion though is that yes, generally when I watch public coaching sessions or public coaching content, I get very upset usually with the people doing the coaching,
Mhm.
um, just because I think that it's evident by the things that they talk about or what they're paying attention to, or what they're concerned with, right? Or they're honing in on, that they don't understand how to actually get good long term and then actually have stuff stick. Because that should be the
Mhm.
main, I think, goal in like coaching, with anything, right? Like, so let me use gym examples for a little bit, right? Because I've had several personal trainers before Paul, right? And Paul's actually a doctor, So he can tell me other things about like muscle groups that someone who just did personal training and got a good body but never actually studied certain things. Paul could tell me really specific things, not just about like muscle groups, but also like the digestion and like diet and other stuff. And I thought that was really fascinating. And now at the gym, he taught me things that are just like engraved in my muscle memory for like how my hand or my arms or like shoulders or body feels when I'm doing something right and like how it's supposed to be right. And he taught me what to feel. Like he made something that past personal trainers I would just forget, right? With like the exercise or like I would go through the motions and whatever, and it wouldn't stick. But with Paul, there was a clear foundation where he could explain it in such a way that it was forced to stick. And I think that when I see that in public coaching sessions, I think that's good. When I see the opposite, which is going through the motions, getting through the coaching session with generic advice, generic, very surface level stuff, I get very upset. And I think that almost every coaching session that I see publicly is that, with the exception of like the people who I've promoted over the years, even if I don't have a specific affiliation with them, such as like when I wasn't actually friendly with Vigar, right? But I would always promote him because I think that he possessed that trait.
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. This is another thing that I try to do a lot better is a lot of times you can coach gameplay in League of Legends and it doesn't do shit. Like if you tell somebody what to do or even how to think about what to do, it kind of doesn't matter sometimes because you have to work out a problem that the person is having, like that specific person. Like coaching, whenever you coach an individual, right? For you and that individual, that hour is like very personalized to them. So like your job is to try to figure out exactly what is a limiting factor for the person that you're talking to. This is something I've shifted my goals towards, like trying to say whatever the most correct thing is in terms of like gameplay, what you should do to try to figure out what is limiting the person that I'm talking to the most. What could I say to the person that I'm coaching so that I would be the most effective towards them improving instead of just whatever idea I think is the most correct.
Right.
I think that's super hard. It's so hard to do. But it's I think it's better. I reason that it's better that way, that you would help somebody improve more. Uh, but I'm not totally sure. But I really enjoy working with this idea. It's super interesting. That like you can tell somebody the right thing to do and the right way to think about it, and you end up not helping them because you missed the point. That like it's a different problem that they're having.
Right. Okay. So let's just wrap this. I mean, let's wrap this on like actually, what is the best way to wrap this topic? Um, mm, do you have any way that you want to wrap this one? This topic in particular? I
Hmm.
can't think of how to wrap it.
What part? This is just about coaching, about how you see a
Yeah, the
good
coaching
coach from a
prices,
bad
public
coach.
coaching, etc.
Oh, I gave my coaching prices thing, okay? You get to decide what your prices are. Uh, no one's forced into any kind of decisions about this. They're like free to make their own decision about this. And then for like watching public coaches, I think the thing with Valentine that I broke down was really good. That you want to look first, you want to watch when people are doing coaching and you want to buy coaching from somebody. You should watch their public content. It's super important because it helps you make a much more responsible decision of like what you're trying to get
Right.
out of the hour with them, because you get
Right.
to see them go through that process with somebody else and you get to decide like, is this person going through like fundamental ideas about how somebody should be viewing the game and viewing the problems they're encountering, or are they just sort of like talking about answers within the game, speaking like with a surface level idea about how to progress in the game, or can we see like layers and see like depth to the ideas that they're saying?
Right. Right.
uh,
Right.
but I think what you're saying about Valentine like wrapped it pretty well.
Yeah, I think the Valentine stuff is I think the Valentine is probably the best example that I can ever give for someone that clearly really understood their shit. Um,
Mhm.
and how I would go about assessing that as someone that didn't have these skills in Magic. Because I do think that that's a thing, right? And I think that this actually segues into like LCS, LCK, LPL, LEC coaching, where I'm not an expert in Magic the Gathering, but I'm an expert in video game discussion and coaching and all this other type of stuff, right, that follows it. And so there's a lot of parallels that follow there. And so even though I didn't play Magic, I would feel very confident in being able to discern the differences between Valentine and another Magic the Gathering pro. And I think that this is a major problem still with major orgs, and I think this will segue into another topic, which is non-experts hiring experts, right? Here we go.
Another topic. Okay.
Here we go. Non-experts hiring experts and the problems with this, because this also has direct implication to a lot of the off-season moves and the optics within the community. When community people will hold certain players in certain lights of skill, credibility, or value, or like saying that certain coaches, it is clueless how they end up teamless, or how they're struggling to get a team, or like all this other stuff, right? And I think that one of the really big examples of this was like 100 Thieves disbanded, right? And Reaper, is Reaper teamless? He is, right? He's teamless again.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Reaper's teamless again. And there's a very large sentiment that Reaper should be on a team because of his success with 100 Thieves. I didn't see 100 Thieves have success. I don't care about them winning. Or I don't care about the championship titles, right? I don't see that as success. And I think it's more concerning the amount of conjecture that continues to and seems to be the forefront of League of Legends optics when it comes to decision makings within teams.
All right. How do you think it should go? Who should do what? Who should hire who? Well, you're talking about certain people you feel like should or shouldn't be on teams with like off-season moves, right?
Right. So we just talked about hello. What is going on here? 8 a.m. meeting. Joe, stop.
Hi, Joe.
Joe, Jesus Christ, Joseph B. Marsh.
Drew, I can meet at 8 a.m. It's 7 right now. It's no problem. I'm free.
God damn it.
So LS,
right.
Stay focused.
All right,
you were talking about non-experts hiring experts, okay?
Yes.
Who do you think should do the hiring?
So that, okay, this is a question, you might have a meeting to attend to, Joe says. This is one of the things that I've thought about, let me think about the answer to this. Like
it's hard.
The answer that I would want to give like right now, right? Because I do think that it is very hard. The way that I was able to evaluate Valentine, despite being in a different game, is a skill set. How do we refer to that skill set? I don't know. I don't know what title or what job description or whatever that skill set actually is. But it is a skill set, and I know that there's other people that can do it because I've encountered and had discussions with other people from other industries or other like workplaces, right? That are clearly capable of doing that. Like someone that we know, right? You and I both, he's actually in chat right now, Nyoken, would be capable of that.
Oh yeah.
Right. Nyoken would be capable of it, right? The deconstruction of a conversation, the compartmentalizing of, different topics that were brought up, how the conclusions were reached, through what manner or method were they discussed and talked about, and how were the conclusions on them reached, right? That would be someone that like you and I both know that I can confidently reference would be able to do it. But then there are people in League of Legends who I think are actually, like, in private, extremely intelligent and can break down problems and can problem solve, and they can see things within League, but I don't think that they would be able to do it outside of League. And to that,
Why?
like, again, like another person that you and I would probably be able to, or that would know, right? Let's take, like, Nemesis as an example, right? I don't think he could do it outside of League, right? But I think
Why?
within League he could.
I think that's so interesting. Why do you think? Why do you think Nemesis could, like, completely, like, accurately, or like as reasonably as you or I could do it,
Right.
like, evaluate somebody in League of Legends, but not in a field outside of it? What do you think is the limiting factor there?
Because his pattern recognition for those things only exists within League of Legends language.
Mm. Hmm. Okay.
Now,
So,
obviously, I haven't talked to him in about a year, right? Or actually over a year. I haven't talked to him in over a year, so maybe something's changed. But based on my memory from everything, that would be the case.
mhm.
Because he's clearly someone that displays an ability to fundamentally break down things that occur within the game on like a fundamental level, right? He can reason out, sequence, think about things, you know, etc. He can do all of that within League, right? But I think that when you break free of the constraints of League of Legends and you expand it to other topics, I'm not sure that that is something that he would do, or at least I'm not confident in it, right? But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I just think it's that doesn't do it, right? Because I think the only people that do it are the people that go out of the comfort zone or outside of the boxes in order to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. The reason I'm asking is because we're trying to figure out exactly what this skill set is,
Yeah.
right? So we're seeing differences, and, like, we would both agree that, like, oh, Nyoka would be able to tell a good thought process from a bad thought process, like, in any medium. It seems like if you explain it to him in terms he can understand, he could tell you, like, what makes sense, what is valuable, and what isn't. Uh,
Right.
so what we're trying to find is exactly what is different in Nyokin's case to Nemesis's case.
Right.
Um, and I'm thinking that it's something like, maybe what you're saying is that Nemesis hasn't broken down the problem into such a fundamental form where it stops being about League of Legends. That maybe everything he understands still, like, in his mind, is in terms of League of Legends in the way he understands it. Not
Right.
totally sure if that'll totally land and make sense. Maybe that makes sense. But I think you can break down a problem to the point where it's nothing about the game anymore, where I
Right.
can
Exactly. Exactly.
explain to
Exactly.
you why you do something in a game, in a rhythm game like Osu, or a card game like Magic, and in a MOBA like League of Legends, and basically say the same sentence 3 times and have it apply to every game. Uh,
Right.
so I think that's the type of skill set you're looking for, is someone who can identify value and break down problems into their most fundamental form, so that you can identify, like, who has a solid thought process and uh, who's just talking in the specifics of whatever game they're playing without having that rooted in what's actually valuable.
No, yeah, that's really good. And obviously, like, I'm using examples of people that you and I both know, right? So that we're
Mhm.
able to engage with the topic a lot more strictly. It's not like there might be someone that you know that can do this, but I don't know them, so, like, we can't have a combo. So, like, I feel really confident in the examples that, like, I used just now, right? I think having, like, Nyoken talk on stream or something at some point, that was an idea that I had once upon a time, would probably be valuable as, like, a conversation. But the problem is that generally content like this is not done often, and it's not received, which is really weird. Because it every single fucking year in off season, people talk about the problems within the community, and they harp on and cycle the same exact things, and yet the actual conversations, God damn it, Joe.
Oh, 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 I pay for that too. But, like, we don't have fucking solutions to some of these things. We're still working on that.
Right
I'll fight Nemesis.
there. You have like
Sign me
40
up. I
pounds on him. It's
volunteer.
not even. It's
I'll
not
lose 40
even.
pounds. It's so easy. Just give me a date. Next November, Nemesis. Message me on Twitter, bro. I'll drop 40 pounds. You gain 20, I'll gain 20. Meet in the middle.
Wait, your profile
Shake
pic on
on it.
Discord, you guys probably weighed the same weight.
That's true. Yeah.
That's actually
Round
true.
one.
I think you guys are the same weight then.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
it won't be at Worlds. Joe Marsh is talking permanent shit in chat.
What do you mean it won't be at Worlds? Bro.
He's saying
chill.
C9's not making Worlds.
Chill, man.
Holy shit.
The year hasn't even started yet, Joe. Chill, man. Okay.
Oh my
we're
lord.
staying focused. We're staying focused here.
All right, let's stay focused. Let's stay focused.
No, I'm losing it.
All right.
Where were we?
We were
talking about how we have the same conversation every year. Yes, we live in this revolving door of time where every year we end the season and then we have the same conversation where we talk about the same problems that we need to solve and we can't. And do you have an example of a problem like that?
Do I have an example?
Yeah, I thought you were
team
saying that because you had an example.
We're talking about it right now. We're talking about team infrastructures. Right, we're
Ooh,
talking about the optics.
Okay.
We're talking about the optics of like, so Reapered right now is teamless, right? Lots of people say that Reapered should have a team based on the credentials that 100 Thieves won a few times. Right?
And you think that's the wrong measurement?
Or look at the DRX players, right? The DRX players in off-season, right? Are we going to pretend that all the DRX players are equal? Is that actually a claim? Are we also going to claim that simply because you won Worlds, that you are a really good player or even a top 5 player in your role domestically? Because I don't think that's always the case either. So why are there these weird claims that are attached simply to title that have no basis in execution or have no basis in like a practical manner? Why is that the case, right? We used to joke, right? Well, you and I used to. When was this? This was in 2021. You and I used to joke, right? When C9 won, right? How many titles do you have now? You have 2, right?
I got 2. I got 50% win rate out here.
Okay, you got So you have 2 titles, right? So you're infinitely in the eyes of the public just more knowledgeable than everyone who doesn't have a title in the eyes of the public.
Yeah.
But you yourself would say that is meaningless. Joe said, titling is wrong in esports. Inflated titles for unqualified people hurt growth of the scene. Yes. Yes. He's describing exactly what I'm trying to describe right now.
We're saying it's the wrong measurement.
Yes.
That instead of measuring by titles, you want to measure by, substantive things like their thought process, right? How do we evaluate someone's thought process so that we get better people there? Okay. Oh, thinking really hard. So it's definitely not true that because I have 2 titles that I'm any better than I was without the titles, or that if you took the titles away, I would be any different. But what can we do about this? Because right now we're still stuck at square one, where we're still in a space where it is heavily valued, like your wins are heavily valued.
Yes.
So what can we actually do as a solution to make this sort of thing better, to make a hiring process better, to how can we put people in the right position so that this sort of thing improves?
So Joe said we need to measure by skill set, execution of role, and delivering results. But
how?
I would take gripe with... Well, I would take gripe only with the delivering of results, and I would use a comment that another chatter just brought up, right? Where imagine if DRX lost Worlds, but Zika had the performance that he did, right? But he still lost. No one in their right mind would say that Zika was not the best mid laner at Worlds because it was so obvious from his gameplay. He was annihilating everyone.
He was beating people harder than anybody's beat people. It is so crazy.
And he's doing it in Season 12, right? He was literally, I felt like watching Zika at this Worlds, he embodied the Chovy persona that Chovy is always hyped up to have.
Yeah,
he will go up against Chovy, he will break your throat, and he will 10 CS a minute, and he will seem unkillable in teamfights, and he will deal max damage, and, everything, right? That was, the Church of Chovy persona.
But then that
I felt like Zika... Yeah, I mean, Zika just fucking showed up. in a way that
Ari
no
versus
mid laner
Sylas,
at
Utopia
Worlds has ever
Sylas.
showed up. I felt like Zika's season 12 mid's performance is the best mid lane performance ever. So, but if he lost, let's say he loses in the finals. Let's say he loses game 5. Do we strip him from that claim? No. How do you?
Yeah, it's just one team fight away, right? We're in game 5 at Worlds.
Right. One team fight away. Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So we're back. We're back to we have to evaluate people somehow based on their skill set. We need some sort of solution here. Execution of the role. I'm working with Joe Marsh here. I like the world that you're proposing.
He's saying we're T1 wins, right?
Oh, we're one team fight away. Oh, no. Chill, guys. Chill. We're still stuck, guys. We don't have a solution. We're still we're in a world where if you win world finals, you're the best players in the world, and if you get second place, you're shit. Okay,
right.
And that world is where T1 is second. Okay, Joe. So what can we do to change it? How can we actually what can you actually do to execute on this plan of action to start evaluating people differently? It's evaluating people based on their skill set. It seems like you can go 5 layers deeper than this. I don't know what that means yet. What do you think? Work with me here. Go down the line. Get out of groups and talk. Fuck, man. We're not making it.
This is turning into a boxing match.
I'll fight Joe Marsh, man. Joe Marsh, what's your height and weight? What's your height and weight, bro? Well, I'll meet you in the middle, okay? I'll get taller if I need to.
I don't know. Joe always says that I'm 5'7", but we're almost the same height, so I guess he's 5'7".
We're almost the same height? Or you and
he's
Joe
a
are?
little taller
Okay.
than me. Joe's 6 foot. Joe's 6 foot.
Okay.
Joe's 6
Anyway.
foot.
We're not solving this here. We're not solving it here. Okay. I don't have perfect solutions to this. I think that most people don't have a great solution. I think we have the right idea, but I don't think we have a plan to execute on that good idea yet. So I think for now, NA this year is probably not going to do good international. Because I don't think we have a really clear idea on how we're going to execute on this plan of evaluating people based on these more substantial metrics. I don't think we're going to do it very well this year. And I don't know how we can do it better next year. We have to figure something out.
Right. So what do you think of? So for me, earlier you were talking about sometimes in public coaching sessions, right, or coaching, that you get very upset when you see people say something wrong, right? On the flip side, I get very upset when people allocate worth or value to someone that I think you can demonstrate that it's not reflected, but that the basis for it is simply on results alone or lack thereof.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yes. So you yourself, we used to say it's a parody in itself, that simply on the basis that you won with C9, you're instantly more qualified than the day before you won. That is a weird thing.
Yeah, that's not true.
Right, it's not true.
I'm actually the same person.
Yes, and you could have lost every single time and been the same person.
Yeah. That's not the deciding thing.
Yes.
So maybe more people will get on that page. I'm not sure. Maybe a lot of people are already on that page. Maybe we measured a bunch of variables. We did all the right steps, and then these were the imports to NA that were the best. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like that to me. But it's hard for me to complain or criticize because I don't have the best solution to it.
Sure.
So what do you think, Elias? Okay. I'm here asking you for a solution.
What do you mean? I mean, the solution is not. I don't think it's a simple answer. I don't think it's not a simple answer, right? It's a conversation that requires almost everything in itself, and then it's a conversation that has to be weeded through, right? You have to go multiple. You have to also be willing to fuck up while trying to find the solution, and people don't understand that because the second that you fuck up, they would just axe it. Like, oh, well, you clearly don't know, even though it's a process, right? So imagine, like, you know what? Let's use a fucking comparison. Let's use the fucking, what's that movie with cracking the German engine? Enigma, right? What was it? The Imitation Game, right? Cracking the code. Yeah, the Enigma code.
Yeah.
Alan Turing. Imagine he fucks up on cracking the code after like a week. He can't crack it or something like that, right? It doesn't mean that his process isn't sound or that the methods or steps that he's going through is ineffective, right? Or it's like that fucking quote, right? About a light bulb or something. Like, I didn't find 100 ways that this light bulb didn't work. I didn't fail 100 times. I found 100 ways that it didn't work. Something like that, right?
Yeah, until you find the right solution. Okay, I think you have a solution. I think you have an idea for like a direction we could go. That it seems like we have to make bigger commitments to the right kind of methodology towards hiring people and like training people.
Yes.
So which teams in Korea have big like academy or amateur I get programs. Let's say programs. I'm not sure exactly.
So interestingly, a T1 has the most fleshed out academy program. However, I have a funny story about Sella, okay, where Sella does not want to move up. Sella does not want to promote, like, in the hierarchy. You know what I mean? Like so in Korea, you know, there's 4 leagues, right? There's challengers, there's academy, and then there's main, which is LCK. And then there's a 4th division, which is like trainees, right?
Yeah.
And then Sella is on the challengers like squad thing, right? But the problem is that he brought up a really interesting point, which is you are not incentivized to want to promote because all of those jobs are defense against the dark arts because of the way that this process exists.
Which ones? The academy jobs? Because
so Sella, even though he's been the academy coach for 3 years, right? He's been the academy coach for 3 years, right? He's worked with like Berserker, right? He's worked with other coaches, right? All the players get along really well, right? He's had other players promote into challengers, end up on other teams. He's had other players end up in Europe, right? He does not want to go up to challengers. He does not want to go to LCK because as soon as you leave the academy, every job becomes defense against the dark arts, where you just get removed after a year or 2 years. But that doesn't happen to challengers. But it actually cycles back to the exact problem that we're talking about right now, which is how is the conclusions reached about the effectiveness of someone?
So you think that part of the company is set up wrong because it's not incentivizing people to do their best and climb up the ladder based on their skill.
Yes.
Right. It's incentivizing people to.
Well, it has nothing to do with skill. It doesn't.
Yeah, people are focused on keeping their job in this
case. In esports, it does not have to actually do with skill or prowess. Correct.
Well, I think it could. I agree. It doesn't right now. Hold on. Let me think. It doesn't have to do with skill or prowess. To a certain extent, it does. But what we're saying is that to a bigger degree, it could. Or that it would be a better place if any company was set up so that it was incentivizing more people to really do their best to climb up the ladder.
Correct.
Instead of being afraid that if you climb up too high, you fall off and you lose your job. But if you stay where you are and you're like comfortable where you are, then you get to keep your job. That's not an ambitious approach for that person to take, and they're being incentivized to take it. Okay.
Right.
Great. How do you change that? Do you have different people in management positions?
Well, so I've always had this conversation. I mean, I've had this conversation with Riot. I had this conversation with Dom. I've had this conversation with, I think I even had it with Doublelift, right? That I always felt like the larger that someone got personality-wise, the more responsibility they should have to actually set things right in the scene in terms of shining lights on real problems. Because otherwise, how can the scene grow? I always felt that way. That was always my stance. And it was why I was always willing to go to bat on certain things or stand my ground on certain things. But the issue is that the scene is not set up to want that to be the case.
Oh, why do you think this is?
I'm
Because
not
we
sure.
have the wrong people. Oh.
Well, I mean, what so you've been on the inside now for a while, right? You've actually talked with a lot of people behind the scenes, especially at, like, international events and stuff, right? Now, I don't want to make you name any names for people or whatever, right? But you've had plenty of conversations with people whose day-to-day lives are League of Legends and then normality outside of League of Legends, right? Which I actually don't think is very productive at all. I don't think the person's actually growing. I think they're simply aging, right? They're just weathering. So in your experiences, how would you feel about all of this? Because one of the things that makes me want to consider quitting, right, both last year and this year, right, this is before I joined C9 and everything else, is I was getting frustrated that it did not seem like, it seemed like I got to the precipice of, like, League, right, almost, and I felt like when I looked around, there was no clear solutions, and there was actually nothing that could be done, and that is very disheartening. It's demoralizing, and it's very defeating in many ways. And it felt like the only way to maybe do something would be by following the same exact, I would say, cancerous ways that things are accepted, right? And so, like, for instance, with me joining C9, right, last year or whatever, I always stood by the meta is not what it appears. There's many good champions in League. You just have to find what they are, right? And, like, what spots they fall into and break conventional norm that way, right? In a hypothetical world where, let's say, I stay on C9 and it's all roses and sunshine and whatever, and lots of different champions are consistently picked, and it ends up looking like that ERL team, Buffalo, right? Is that the team, Buffalo, in EU Masters?
What team? Buffalo?
It's like
I don't know.
It's like not Saigon. No, not Buffalo. What is their name? Bisons. Do you know who I'm talking about? They would permaflex everything. And they had, like, Karthus ADC. Like, they did everything.
Oh, the middle laner was named Random.
Yes.
And he played Random champs?
That team.
Okay.
Yes, that team. If that happened, would there be a change in the Western community on the perception of champion skill levels? I don't know. Or champion skill.
I mean, G2 did a lot of this too. G2 was, like, flexing Seraphine and Senna everywhere all the time.
Right.
Went everywhere.
But it's still not mainstream. Even though it's a demonstrable thing.
I'm uncertain. I don't know.
I'm uncertain too. That's why I wanted to I wanted to, consider stopping twice.
Yes. It's hard to find solutions. It's very easy to point out problems. It's very easy to criticize a region or a team, or even, like, a player, right? But it's very difficult to give them a solution that they can realistically act on. I don't know. And an idea I just had was maybe we should take a academy a lot more seriously, and maybe we should pay attention to, like, does T1 or did DRX have an academy program? I think Gen G has an academy program.
So DRX does have an academy. Gen G does as well. I'm not sure about all the other teams.
But the problem we run into when we talk about this is that we have so many fewer players compared to China and Korea, right? That NA has, like, a million active players compared to Korea's, like, I think 5 million. I don't know if that might be wrong. And then China's, like, 30 million or something, right? Where will that really solve the problem? I don't know if that's a realistic solution, because now you're just working with less resources than the other regions. So here we are again. It's December. Well,
Yeah.
we got 9 months. We got 9 months to figure it out.
We got 9. You got 9 months to try to do something. I mean, I honestly, I mean, I do think at this point it is kind of doomed. Don't you? I mean, I that's how I feel.
It's tough. You can definitely do things like get out of groups, but it seems it seems like we don't have a clear way that we're going to get further than that. Uh, like Rogue does great in their group, gets out of
Yeah.
groups, lose to JDG in like under 2 hours. Like, okay,
Yeah.
shit, this is gonna keep happening unless we really change something. And I don't even know what that thing to change is, and I haven't heard anybody give me like an explanation of what the thing that needs to be changed is. So
Well,
maybe this
it's
year we'll
very
figure it
interesting
out.
because if you're familiar with other esports that are played on a global spectrum, right? And I'm not talking about Dota, where it is played on a global spectrum, but it's highly dysfunctional.
Mm.
So what I mean by Dota being highly dysfunctional is that it all comes down to the international. Literally everything just is for the international. But
Yeah.
Dota is very dysfunctional in like its other leagues and the way that practice is done and everything else that can be found about Dota.
Mhm.
So games that are played on a global scale, typically the Asian regions do not actually lose compared to the Western
Mhm.
regions. This is a really consistent fact. However, when the Asian regions lose their server, or when they lose, like if their pro leagues or like teams and stuff break down, then what ends up happening is they do become vulnerable to losing, and sometimes Western players do end up becoming the best, which is
Mhm.
very interesting.
Mhm.
Because I feel like that should actually be looked at more, or what caused it, what caused the breakdown.
Yeah, see if we can reduce that into something that we can like get a hold of. Yeah,
Right.
if that's actually a way of approaching things. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, I think that should be looked at more. But the times where we did have the upper hand, the times where like there were Western teams that were better than Eastern teams, that were like consistently better. Yeah,
Yes.
I think we should see like what went into that. Was that just like did that just happen to work? Uh,
Yep.
like you remember like last year with like FPX, things sort of worked out where FPX had some like I guess they had internal problems. I still don't actually know what happened with FPX, but I don't know. Everybody knew that they weren't playing very well, and that teams were
Right.
doing well against them. So if, in that example, it's like that just kind of happened to work out. But I mean, there are other examples where let's think of an example. What's an example in League where a Western team was
Well,
actually better?
I don't think
Uh,
there's any examples really ever other
no, no,
than
no.
the early infancy.
Oh, not better than everyone, but better than like most.
Better than
uh,
most. I think that
yeah.
some people would cite some people would cite 2019 G2, right? But I think that 2019
Mhm.
G2 themselves would actually not think that they're that much better, or that even if they are better, that if they consistently played the Asian teams enough, that they wouldn't start losing. And that's a
Mm,
weird thing because people would hold this belief simply on the basis of results alone,
mm,
if that makes sense.
mhm. And yeah, if that is true, right? If they would say that, well, we can win, but we're not necessarily better, then that's not
Right.
a formula then that you can learn too much from. I don't think, at least not with that.
Right.
So then we're
But
back.
also what really goes into that, because when you look at the so my belief is that it might be, or it ought to be possible to have one team, a singular team, maybe contend against the Asian teams. I think that might be possible. To have a region or several teams do it, I don't think it's possible. And the examples that I point to are obviously like Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2, being like the primary candidates, where there are individual players who, throughout all of StarCraft 2's history, were always able to stand up to Korean players. But it's because of their own individual identity. It's their own like self-culture, right, that goes into their practice and methodology and stuff. When you're in a team environment, you can't do that, right?
Mhm.
Not all 5 C9 players would agree to do things the exact same way.
Yeah.
And so because of that, there is a level of dysfunction. Whereas in Asian teams, yes, there is disagreements, but there is unity in their culture.
Mm,
Whereas in Western teams, there is not unity in culture because they all come from different cultural backgrounds and different types of upbringings. Whereas in Asia, it is much more similarly aligned, even if the people have their own idiosyncrasies and their own personality types.
Okay, another solution. We need to put aside our differences and become one as a team. That's what you think.
Yeah, but how the fuck are you gonna do that? Are you gonna get Weldon Green back? Like, what is that? I'm making a joke there. Like, stop. Oh my god.
I think we can build a path towards something like this.
Yeah.
I think that might actually be the best idea so far. That and like focusing on like an academy program. But I don't even know. I don't know the means for focusing on academy program. This is the best idea so far.
One of the interesting things is people will cite. So someone in chat just cited it. They said TL got 5 Koreans and have an all Korean coaching staff. But guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what? Yun and Harry are not Korean culture, even though they're Korean.
Yeah, like Jan's pretty American.
Right. Right. Exactly.
He's American Korean.
So they're actually going to have problems. They will.
Mm.
And I think it's so funny that people don't realize that just because they're all the same ethnicity.
Mm. Yeah, that it's the cultural background that.
Yep.
That's like that driving force there.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, there's actually there's the Korean word gyopo, right, which means foreign Korean. It's a Korean that is a foreigner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dan is a gyopo, right? Quest is a gyopo. Dan is not like other Koreans. Dan does not have the same personality. He does not have the same mindset. Dan will talk back. Like he does not have like, I mean, he'll kowtow, right, to like the age stuff because of like Korean work culture and business, but he's a gyopo. And gyopos do not, and there's lots of things about this. There's lots of discrimination towards gyopos, that they're not true Koreans, right? There's actually a racial term against them. They're called blackos. And I think it's so funny that people don't realize that just because they're all the same ethnicity.
Yeah, that it's the cultural background that.
Yep.
That's like that driving force there.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, there's actually, there's the Korean word gyopo, right, which means foreign Korean. It's a Korean that is a foreigner. Do you know what I mean? Dan is a gyopo, right? Quest is a gyopo. Dan is not like other Koreans. Dan does not have the same personality. He does not have the same mindset. Dan will talk back. Like he does not have like, I mean, he'll kowtow, right, to like the age stuff because of like Korean work culture and business, but he's a gyopo. And gyopos do not, and there's lots of things about this. There's lots of discrimination towards gyopos, that they're not true Koreans, right? There's actually a racial term against them. They're called blackos.
Whoa.
Which is like a negative term that is used towards gyopos, which means like you might look like us, but you're not us.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Fuck. That's messed up.
It's fucked. It's really fucked. Yes.
That shit sucks. That's discrimination. Alright. Oh, so I don't think we're gonna save an A. I've been thinking about it for like a while now during this talk, and it's tough. We're gonna fucking do our best.
Also, the thing that I mentioned
there.
about progress earlier, right? Where people will if you fail once or like you're making progress, but then a hurdle happens. And they perceive it as that you just don't know what you're doing, and they cut it dry.
Cool. Another solution is that we have to see failure a little bit differently. Like all failure is not the same. We need to identify inequalities in failures.
Yes.
I think is another thing you pointed out a couple of times, is that like just because the plan didn't succeed, the light bulb didn't turn on, right? It doesn't mean that everything about it was bad. That there are good things that you can get from things going wrong, and that there's a lot of analysis that goes into finding out if like a loss or something that failed was actually really useful, or like really useful. Fuck. There's like 3 words I tried to get. Yeah, it makes sense.
Fine. Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, I think no, I mean, I do think that makes sense. It's a little rough. I mean, my other major concern with it is when people get into positions of power that will move the needle in the opposite direction, right? That's another big issue.
Can I do that?
Huh? What?
Nothing.
What? What do you mean? What? What did you say? I actually didn't hear you because a motorcycle revved.
Oh, nice. Thank you, motorcycle.
What did he say? Chat, what did he
What
say?
were you saying? What were you saying? You were saying that people get in positions of power and they move the needle opposite direction.
Yes.
Would you like to point any fingers at anybody?
No.
Okay,
That's not what this is about.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, did you want to talk about it more?
No, I mean, did you feel like this topic was wrapped?
Yeah, just about. Because I don't have solutions. We can keep talking, but we're not gonna stumble upon a great idea.
Well,
I think I actually got a couple good ideas out of this.
Require like a lot of talking because I feel like people think that they're a simple like 45-minute meeting and like booked like this is what we're gonna do. No, it's not that.
No, it's a we're fucked meeting.
Yes,
it's a we're fucked meeting. We have to figure out exactly how we're going to be unfucked. And until we do that, we're not unfucked.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, what was the other topic? Okay, here we go.
Oh,
what?
The drama.
The dramas.
I'm a drama frog.
The optics dramas. Okay, you wanted to talk about this stuff. Lovely.
Well, I wanted to ask you a bunch of stuff because apparently you were all involved in this, but I had just watched it a couple days ago and I don't know everything that's going on. So, like, can you give me some sort of like timeline or explain some of the stuff that's happening? Talk about your ideas.
Well, there's a lot of dramas this offseason, right? There's the Neace dramas, which is that he has burner accounts to try to defame other public coaches and cause harm to their. So he had burner accounts where he would flame and try to defame Vigar V2. You didn't see this?
I saw it, but I didn't read it. But I knew that he had the burner account thing.
Okay, so he had burner accounts, and then he would also talk himself up on Reddit on various IDs. And then, you know, to try to make his own thing. Like, he probably has multiple Google accounts that he leaves himself reviews with. Like, I'm not really sure. Like, so he also made like a full video defaming Vigar. Where he talks about like, yes.
I saw that video. I like scrolled over and I thought that it was strange. They had a whole video like, is Vigar too bad for the community? Yeah. I guess. So, here's something I think about.
Yep.
Why does Neace do this? Why do you think? Obviously, Neace is not here right now to tell us why he does this. But why do you think he's going through the motions to do this?
Well, I mean, I have my own personal opinions, which I just think are like really negative. But I mean, it's the same reasons I choose not to engage with him, right? But I don't think there's any benefit in talking about that.
So you don't want to talk about it?
Like, well, no, I don't want to talk about like my reasons for why I think he does it.
Okay. I think this guy's pretty good at making money. I think he's pretty skilled at doing this. Where
sure,
I don't think I would say for me, I wouldn't say his coaching is worth $350.
I feel like what is the best way that I can describe this? It's like the people that don't do anything actually illegal. They're not doing something illegal, and they have found a way to make a lot of money doing it. But it's almost duping people in a way.
Well, this is like the lens I try to see it through. It's like how could doing this help him make more money? I guess if he leaves a positive review of himself, people are more inclined to like watch coaching, right? Like something I said earlier was like watch public coaching and like see what people say about it and like think about it for yourself. But if he's filling the comment section saying like this is great for these reasons, then yeah, I think people would be more inclined to buy his coaching, even following my advice in this case. So.
Well, I mean, people can put reviews about themselves all the time, right? Like fake reviews and like everything. And yes, it does incentivize more people to buy the person's coaching, and it lends more credibility towards the person in the eyes of people who don't do any research. That should be the main asterisk.
Yeah, if you do more layers of research, then you'll probably get past like the 1 or 2 comments because you probably won't listen to the comments anyway. But yeah, I think that makes him money. I think doing stuff like that does make him money. Or otherwise, I don't know if he would actually do it. But I think he's reasoned that it will.
Well, it's hard to say that he wouldn't do it
sure.
for no money, right? Because I don't think that he was actually making a lot of money back in the day. Now I think he's actually making a lot of money. So I think his videos. So let me take a quick look at his videos. Let me try to project what Neace makes each month. Let me, with like my understanding of monetization, try to understand what he. Now I do not know what he gets. I do not know what he gets percentage from his coaches on his website, right? I do not know what cut he gets from that. I don't know if his website generates ad revenue. I don't know anything like of that, so I can't comment on that. Now, his videos seem to be about 40 minutes in length, and they seem to average, I would say, like 15K. Right? If I like subtract like the highs and the lows, right? Sometimes he has some videos that like go nuts, seem to average about 15K. It seems like he has a daily upload, so I would project his YouTube earnings to be somewhere around like 8,000. But I'm not sure what he pays his editor, so I don't know what his expenses are. I don't know how many coaching sessions he does a day. So if he does 2 a day at 350 and he makes 700 there, plus he gets the ad revenue from like Facebook, but I think he only has like 150 viewers or something, so I don't imagine it's much, maybe 50 a day or something. Does he stream daily? I'm not sure. I would speculate that Neace makes I would say he probably makes in the ballpark of around 300 to 375,000 a year.
Whoa, that is a lot. That's just your ballpark.
That's what I assume, because there's so many other things that I don't know that he could have income for. Like I don't know, does he have like sponsors? Does he get paid by Facebook? You know, I'm not totally sure how much he probably makes. I would speculate that it's probably about 300K. 300 to 375. It could be a little bit under that. 375 would be the absolute top end. 300, it could be a little bit under that. But again, I don't know what his expenses are.
Yeah. Wow. This stuff's like, I'm so interested. Okay, here's a cool idea. I mean, I think about like why some of this stuff would happen or why he presents himself this way. What if? I'm not saying this is true because I have no fucking clue if it's true. But what if he leaked himself on his alternate Reddit account on purpose? Because this got so many eyes on him.
Yeah.
And so many people talking about his coaching. Where probably
the question would be: do you believe that he's smart enough to do that? That would be the question. Remember when Wicked? Do you remember the question that you and we had that conversation about Wicked way back in the day? Was Wicked actually smart by trying to attack me and you and Vigar and like all the other like notable coaches when he was trying to make his
content? We had this conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is such an interesting question now.
You said no, he's too dumb. Have you heard him talk?
God.
God damn it. Why you're fucking Ryan Rudolph right now, dude?
Because I think that's a little naive for me to say, right? I think that I might give that kind of statement more consideration now, right? Okay. I feel like I might have been a little upset by something he said, to be honest, right? And be like,
because you argued with him, right? Or was it I
argued with him? This guy, there's nothing in there. He's not thinking. No. I give this stuff more consideration now because I think Neace, for example, is like super good at making money. So I'm like,
he's
shit.
Really good at making money. You can't deny that.
How deep does this go? Like maybe he really has figured out how to like create controversy around himself so that he gets more eyes on his stuff. Or maybe I'm just like overshooting.
This is your favorite person recently, right? Professor Akali. You wanted to talk about Professor Akali.
Oh, he's so good at making money, man.
Professor Akali.
Dude, Professor Akali is so sick at making money.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I just watched it.
You were marveling at that. I don't even remember when it was, but you were marveling at that.
Yeah, it was last time
Someone
we talked,
asks me,
like,
how are you so sure that he makes so much money? Well, one, he does his coachings on stream, and the videos are uploaded. So you can calculate the amount of coachings that he does at his average rate, and you can calculate it over 30 days. Okay, so take $700 a day, multiply that by 30. Okay, so that's number one. Then take his average ad revenue that he would get at 150 viewers at 100 hours streamed a month, and you can also calculate that. Typically, 150 viewers, you can get like $40 to $50 a day in ad revenue, depending on the amount of hours that you stream, so also multiply that by 30. Then take into consideration that his average YouTube video typically is about 40 minutes in length, averaging at about 15K viewers, so with 6 to 8 ad breaks throughout that video, and it's also assumed that his viewer base is very dedicated because his subscriber count to viewer ratio is very, very low, which means that everyone tuning into his videos is likely not through algorithms, so that is a dedicated fan base. And then you factor in like miscellaneous donations and like other stuff, and you can accurately know exactly how much money someone is typically making. In fact, I would argue that like if I played the prices right with like Twitch streamers and I had a little bit of time to follow their analytics, see their sub count, see their YouTube videos, how many expenses they have, I could probably ballpark what they're making every month. I think it's very difficult for people to hide their income as content creators unless it's hidden behind sponsorships.
Yeah, because things are pretty proportionate, is what you're saying with revenue. Yeah. So with Professor Akali stuff, like what do you think? Because I haven't really ever like talked to him. I've just like recently looked at some of his videos and some of the content he makes, and I'm like, this guy farms.
So Professor Akali and Neace are sort of almost in like the same market, right? Or like no, this isn't his YouTube channel. So he has a couple of YouTube channels, which is very interesting. I don't know if you knew that.
I watched a video where he said he had like so many that he was like giving them to people that he managed.
Yes. So he averages like 50K views per video at 25 to 30 minutes per video. So that's already a lot of money, right? But yes, Professor Akali is really interesting in that I think most people know his name, right? And he's been around for a really long time. And most people know his name, and he still garners daily uploads across multiple channels, sometimes even twice daily. He'll upload a video, right? And then he has like all these other like microtransactions that like come in for him. And then he has like other things. And then he does the thing on Twitter where he engages with lots and lots and lots of people to farm impressions, farm likes, farm retweets and stuff. He was doing a lot of this with Elon Musk when he was constantly posting below Elon Musk's tweets. And he farms engagements and he farms things. And then what you do with sponsors is you take your Twitter report for the month and you go to a sponsor and be like, look at my impressions. Look at how many engagements I got. Look at my accounts reached. Look at the likes that I got. Look at the comments, right? And that's why he would do that and then delete his tweets. Is because it inflates the it inflates your analytic report, so you can get larger sponsorships, and that's obviously that's a gray area. There's nothing illegal about that. It's up to the sponsor to do the research.
Yeah. Wow. Some of this stuff is so crazy.
No, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, right? I mean, I've been researching or like observing this type of stuff, right, over the years because I was someone that needed to sort of do it, right, to get by in the beginning. Not like this stuff explicitly, but I needed to be aware of like other ways to make money and how were people making money without like large incomes or anything, you know?
Yeah. All right, so I'm watching these people make these clickbait videos or like make like coaching videos that I think aren't the best, let's say. Help me out. What can I do to monetize my content like to the level that these people are? What can I do with my own Max Waldo style, my own Max Waldo flair? Should I go back to replying to people on Twitter and calling them dumb?
Well, I mean that gets you Twitter engagement, right? It does. It gets you Twitter engagement, gets you followers, gets people to follow you on Twitter, and then, but what does that convert to? What's the transformative value there? Because having a very large Twitter does not mean that you get a large stream, does not mean that you get value on YouTube,
Yeah. So
right?
not necessarily monetized at all at that point.
Right, exactly. So like one really good example is there's a guy that is, I would say, internationally more famous than most Twitch streamers. I think everyone fucking knows what his name. Hold on. I think everyone knows exactly who he is, and you've probably seen his TikToks. I'm just searching something really quick because I love the guy's content. I love his fucking content. Okay, you know Rainbolt, right? The map guy.
No.
You don't know Rainbolt? What do you mean? He sees an image of somewhere on planet Earth, and then in like 1 second or less, he knows exactly what country it is.
Oh, does this
Rainbolt.
guy have a like photographic memory?
No. He's a pro GeoGuessr player, and he has
Oh, he's just
millions of
insane at
views.
GeoGuessr.
He has millions of views on YouTube and on TikTok, but his Twitch streams average less than 1K viewers, even though he streams regularly.
Oh.
That is really weird to me that I can't make sense of. I can't.
Okay.
I can't make sense of it, especially
so
when like he promotes it in his videos, or there's like Twitch image. Right, it doesn't make sense.
What do you think he can do to get better conversions? If you were in his position, how...
This is really interesting. Did you ever watch Midbeast talk to Doublelift?
No.
Midbeast.
So much shit I haven't watched.
So Midbeast was or Midbeast. What the fuck? Mr. Beast. What the fuck? Mr. Beast, not Midbeast. What the
Wait,
fuck?
Mr. Beast talked to Doublelift?
Mr. Beast and Doublelift conversation. You didn't know this?
When did this happen?
So
Whoa,
Mr. Beast said something like, I'm paraphrasing, you should be getting 30x on YouTube, whatever your CCVs are on a live streaming platform.
Whoa. Okay.
That was his like belief. And that if you're not doing that, then you're doing something wrong.
Okay. So how is Mr. Beast doing that?
The comment that he made to Doublelift, or maybe it was Tyler, was that every single video that Doublelift or Tyler uploaded should have been breaking 1 million views. And Mr. Beast offered to like help them, or I think Tyler or something, and Tyler said he didn't want the help. But I'm curious what Mr. Beast knows that Twitch streamers don't know, or even YouTube content creators don't know, because obviously Mr. Beast is the best in the world at doing this. He like it's demonstrated, right? He's clearly aware. Yes, like what is going on there? The same way that like I know that I can probably build a streamer's brand up smallly, right? Like I understand like what things must be done or followed, or like what they should do at certain times to do it. He probably gets it on a way larger. Well, he does get it on a much larger scale. With way more accuracy when it comes to YouTube.
Yeah. So here's something that one of my friends was working with me about to like improve like monetization, or even for your Twitch stream, but like specifically for YouTube videos, that he told me that Mr. Beast does really well, is that whenever a Mr. Beast video starts, it starts with Mr. Beast talking, and he explains to you like the purpose of the video, like what is going to happen, and like why it's going to be exciting. Like, I bought this $2 million plane, and the last person to like take their hand off of it, right, or the last person to like have their hand on it, is going to get the whole plane. And that's why you're invested in the video, is because like the Mr. Beast came on to tell you why the video was going to be really cool in the beginning. So what my friend told me is like, when you make content, you should make it with like a lot of purpose, where like people watching should have like an idea in mind of like exactly why they're watching, and they go on this journey with you throughout the video or throughout the stream even. And he said that was a really good way to improve people's investment in the content that you're making. And he said that like Mr. Beast had a super good understanding of that. So that's something I'm going to try to implement.
But that's
in the content
more
that I make.
only capable on YouTube. That's not capable on live streaming.
Yeah, it's capable to a lesser extent on live streaming.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless the stream is shorter. Yeah.
Let's say I'm a solo queue player, and I'm like, I'm gonna get Grandmaster today, right? I need 100 LP to get Grandmaster, and I don't turn my stream off until I get Grandmaster. Still, it's a lot harder to do that, because I don't know if I'm gonna get Grandmaster queuing up for 10 hours. But if I do, then I have this awesome story that a bunch of viewers got to see. So I think it's still possible, and you should aim for it with live streaming stuff. And I think a lot of people do, and they might not totally like realize it in their mind that they like title their stream something really exciting, or even like you title this stream like at 6 a.m. PST we're gonna have this event. Did you start streaming at like 2 hours before this or something?
Me?
Yeah, when did you start
Yeah,
streaming
I
relative
was
to when
streaming
it
for about an
started?
hour and a half before.
Yeah. So you stream for an hour and a half before, and then people are getting into your stream and they're watching and they're invested because they want to see what happens in 90 minutes before while they're waiting for like the
Right,
6
while they're
a.m.
waiting
event
for
that's gonna happen.
the conversation
Yeah,
with
so
you.
stuff like that's really
Yes.
good. If you plan
Yeah.
your stream where you have this like segments in it, that
Yes.
people become really invested in stuff like that.
In,
Uh,
in in the segments, yes. Waiting for the segments. Okay,
yeah, these are cool ideas.
we're getting a little bit sidetracked. So we go back to like the dramas. So we had the Vigar and Neace drama that ended up happening. Now, I believe with the utmost confidence that there are more people that do what Neace does, right? People within the scene that have burners with solely the intention of trying to tear down another person or like figures within the scene. I fully believe, and I mean, I've encountered it sometimes, not in recent years, but I do know that this was certainly like a thing way back in the day. So this is a thing, and that's the nature of this community and like this environment and stuff, right? So you were asking me about like the Professor Akali drama that I got involved in, right?
Yeah.
So that's just how just how it is.
Now I watched a little bit about the contracts, right? And I wanted you to explain from your perspective, like what is going on with this contract situation. The way that he explained in his video,
Yeah.
it was like apparently he was just working with people who didn't have a YouTube and who weren't making any money off of YouTube, and he had them sign like a long-term contract for his safety so that if he made their YouTube really popular, like they wouldn't just pull out of the deal and then like stop paying him. And once their YouTube was really popular, uh, but I don't know. It's not like he's showing me what the contract is. I don't know what's going on. I'm just listening to what Professor Colley's telling me.
So
Uh,
that part of the video was really weird because I don't think I directly engaged with Professor Akali on that topic. I engaged with Charismai.
mm,
Because there was some streamer that was like making it known that this contract like existed. And for me, the contracts are they're well like Cat Evolved was like someone that talked about it. Tarzan was like someone that called it outright crazy or whatever. There was like a DM with Tarzan or something like that.
mhm.
And for me, the contracts are absurd, and people don't understand that they're absurd because people don't understand what goes on in content creation or like what being a streamer is or what being a YouTuber is or what any of this stuff really is. So from my perspective, they are. Let me tell you what I understand the contracts to be. They lock you into a certain like legally binding contract where you join like their streamer team or network. In exchange, they will upload or make videos for you. Now, these videos are not being made specifically by the creator, most likely. They're probably being handed off to other video editors to do certain things. Now, these jobs do not cost a lot of money to actually do. To do the rips, the uploads, the highlights. These are very, very cheap, especially way back in the day when these things were more mainstream, right? We heard all about YouTube League video editors and stuff. There were lots of tweets about that, tweetlongers. So they sign these people to these contracts. They agree to upload content. They have an auto host feature because auto host used to be a thing on Twitch. And they would do this with these random players. Now, the reason that this is absolutely insanity, and anyone who's a streamer or a content creator knows that this is insanity, is because in the event that you do get big, somehow, within that really long time frame, you're locked into this weird contract. And it doesn't matter if they're helping you when you are a 100 viewer Andy, 200 viewer Andy, and you go up to like 300. That's not what the contract is being offered for, nor is that what its purpose is. It's predatory. And anyone who thinks otherwise doesn't understand the industry. That's just the nature of it, right? If I went around to a bunch of... so when I had the conversation with Charismai, one of the questions that I wanted to ask would be like, would someone accept this offer from me in exchange for 50% of their Twitch viewership if they were a 1K Andy, right? When I was ending all the co-streams. I would have all the co-streams for LEC, LCS, LCK, and then I could host or raid bomb them in exchange for some absurd contract, right? And if I handed that off to like 20 people, I only need one of them to somehow get successful in League and then get locked into a siphoned 5-year money exchange, which is why it's predatory, because I'm aware of that.
Yeah, and I guess he's saying it's for his safety, right? So that people don't get big and then leave. But
I mean, it can be hidden behind the that's what it's doing.
But then the whole deal is like sided towards that.
Right,
is that someone gets
and there's a lot of people that perceive what his actions are or like what he's doing is really helpful, and that they would love to have it, and they wish that they would have someone that would help out their stream or grow their stream. And it's like, well, one, actually the amount of work and effort that he's putting into helping the person is non-existent. And I can say that confidently as a content creator and someone that knows what goes into this and like other people that do it. And then two, it is predicated on just needing one person to get successful in order for the thing to be good. Because if you try streaming for a long period of time and they upload a couple of videos, they play ARAMs with you, they put you in videos, whatever, and then you're not noticing any return or something, you lose ambition, you give up, well, fuck. Doesn't it? It's no chip off their shoulder, right? They don't lose anything.
Yeah, okay.
And it's odd to me that public people can't understand that.
That it's very low risk for the people offering the contract. That's very low risk for the people offering the contract, right?
Correct.
And if you benefit from having the contract, really the person offering it to you benefits the most.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, doesn't sound the best. Yeah, I would probably not. If I was averaging like, who's taking this? Are people with like no stream following the people who are taking this? I don't know like every person that he manages.
Dude, I don't even remember when I pulled it all up. So again, I didn't directly engage with Professor Akali on this topic. I engaged with Charismai, and I pulled up a ton of the streamers, and I showed that it was consistently a downward trend, or that there would be no growth that could actually be attributed towards this like sort of a engagement or like a contract or like anything like that. And that as someone who is heavily integrated in this line of work and understands what's like going on here and what the data should suggest and like all this other type of stuff, I can confidently say that this is like, you would not want to take something like this. It does not make sense to take it. And interestingly, Tarzan was obviously aware of that, even though Tarzan was on the come up way back in the day. He could tell immediately like that this is not a good offer.
Yeah, I think his DM was like, nah, that's too crazy.
Right. If I could offer, so back in 2021 when I was doing all those co-streams, right, and I was streaming so much every single week and I was doing everything, if I could offer a bunch of like even 500 viewer Andys that same exact contract and offload the video editing to an editor who would do the videos for, you know, very, very, very cheap, because it doesn't take a lot of effort to make those kind of videos that they're making. All I need is for 1 out of like 20 to become a 3K viewer Andy. That's all I need. And then it's infinitely worth it. But it's predatory.
Yeah, that does sound like that, yeah. All right, I have a better idea of what's going on now. Yeah, that you explain it like this. Man. Now, on the other hand, that's a really good way for you to make money. Where again, it's like this is a really it's a really good way to make money. But when you explain it like this, it's like you're kind of taking advantage of the chance of other people that you're managing with like little resources. That you pump a tiny bit of resources to them, and if it blows up, then you get to reap the benefits of it, while like not taking risk on your end. So yeah, that doesn't sound the best. Huh.
It's rough. It's really rough. Yeah. So that was one of the dramas that I was confused about, because this is like a really weird thing where it doesn't matter the tonality of his video or how he wants to try to frame what he's done for people, like doing the work for the creators and like what he's trying to do. Anyone with the know-how of how streaming, content creation, YouTube, etc. works, understands what's going on. They would be able to break it down. Someone on the outside who doesn't understand what being an influencer is or how to drive analytics or like all this other stuff, they might actually believe that this is a good offer, even though anyone in their right mind would run from it. And it can be explained why. So that bothered me. So, but I didn't understand like where that video was coming from. So that one was a little bit weird, for sure.
Cool. And this makes sense with what you were saying before, where you feel like you have a responsibility to like point some of this stuff out.
Yeah, absolutely.
To make these sort of spaces better. Yeah. Yeah, this makes more sense now. All right. Awesome. Is there another one you can think of? More drama for you to catch up on?
No, I mean, I think that those were the large dramas.
No. I mean, you run me through the Night Blue one.
The Night Blue one?
Yeah.
Well, the Night Blue one is really weird because the Night Blue one, still to this day, is like it's very here. I'll show a DM on stream that I got. This was just yesterday, man.
Whoa.
Let me show a DM I got. This was
We're showing
really
DMs
disturbing.
from yesterday. Okay.
Showing DMs from yesterday. Hold on. How do I? Let me figure out how I can screen cap this. Let me go into studio mode. Okay, hold on. This is a very disturbing DM. I'm just letting you know.
Didn't Night Blue want to debate you? I want to see that. Debate Night Blue.
No. He refused to in DMs, which further added to my whole argument is that he's insincere, which was one of my main arguments. He refused to. Yeah.
You already tried to set it up. Fuck.
Yes, I already tried to set it up. However, it did not work. Okay.
You boxed him.
So I have it. Okay. All right, ready? I'm going to show it on my stream. Okay. All right, let me just make sure that I have it. Okay. Very good, very good. I do have it. Okay, cool. All right, transition. Okay, people can see this now, right? Let me just confirm people can see this. Okay. So it started a little bit over a week ago, but the real DM started yesterday. Okay. So obviously I respond.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
I respond sarcastic. Hits me with no. So this was yesterday. Love it.
Whoa.
Okay.
These are not nice direct messages to send to anybody. Don't DM this stuff to anybody.
No. So hold on. So I get these DMs. I get these DMs pretty regularly throughout November. Okay. Sometimes I engage. Obviously, because I want to understand the person sending the message.
What are you understanding?
This is because of the Night Blue stuff, huh?
What are you understanding about?
Well, I didn't get to understand anything. I never really got to. This was also something that you and I talked about, right? Where the person claims that I wished mental health problems, but I never did that. This is like reality denial. I don't know.
Well, like Night Blue typed what you didn't type.
Night Blue typed what I didn't type, and then people ran with it, right? Which was really odd.
Yeah, like well, that guy's saying that you're wishing like mental issues, but that's
right, but
that's a whole different thing.
Right.
Now we're talking about a third thing. Okay.
So, anyways, so this was that. So I got this DM was yesterday. I mean, there's a couple other ones from yesterday too, but this one was really particularly bad. Obviously. So, yeah, these DMs are interesting, man. These are something.
Whew. That's rough. I've
These
never
are
gone that far down the rabbit hole.
You haven't? Why?
No, that was a long journey. Because I don't know what you got out of that. I mean, you're saying you're trying to understand it more.
I didn't get
but
anything out of it in the end, but I would try to.
yeah.
I did get into a Discord call with someone like this in November. And I got them to try to explain or like make sense of like what they were doing.
Wait, did you have a reasonable conversation with that guy?
Eventually, when I got to the Discord call, I did. This guy, no. The guy I just showed you, no. But the other person, yes.
Interesting. Whoa.
But yeah, the night blue stuff was really odd because people don't understand. It doesn't seem like they understand that I did not go on stream like unprepared. I had reached out to so many people, even outside of League, right? I asked Moxie, the Overwatch streamer, right, who also plays League, the Orn God. I asked Moxie to please find me people who do not know me, do not play League of Legends, and I want them to look at this stuff. And so Moxie did. Moxie found me streamers that did not know who I was or anything, and I went over everything. And I said, as a streamer, do you feel like the insinuation is really clear in these parts? And I couldn't find one person that dissented with what was being insinuated. And there was one streamer who really clung to the non-denial in the first tweet that he made at Florence, which is where Florence claims that she was called a whore, and then rather than deny it, he simply posts screenshots as in, here, you deserved it. Right?
He responds to like the flaming thing instead of
the flaming thing. Yes.
Instead of like the specifically called her. Yeah.
Right. So this was really weird, and then so I went on stream to try to break down the video after having done all of this, after having talked to Riot. I talked to several different riders about like what had happened. One of them who reached out directly, and the others who I just like reached out to like ask like, am I crazy on this thing? And I talked to a bunch of other League streamers, some who I've never spoken with before. I had no like relationship with, but they're League streamers, right? So I'm like, do you agree with what's going on here? And it was really weird the amount that it blew up, or the size of it all, right? Because it all transpired while I was doing a live viewing with Forrest during Worlds.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, I had a question. I lost it. Fuck.
Yeah.
The question was about what were you going for? What did you want to get out of this? You're talking about the insinuation. Exactly what insinuation? Or can you walk me through this part of it? Because you're talking about what he was saying in game, right? Because I don't think you went over this. I think you were just talking about the insinuation, but you didn't actually
I felt like I felt like the insinuation was really clear that that's what he was going for. And I only made one tweet about it. All the follow-up tweets and everything else were a byproduct of like the things that he was saying about me on stream, which obviously I don't have videos of, and I was only able to recover one clip of. All the other follow-up tweets like were me responding to him, responding to me. But yeah, that was that drama.
Yeah, I guess you're like you did the goal that you set out to do, right? So like you thought that he was insinuating that insinuation was clear, that he was typing for the self-mute, right? But that he was actually saying that to say it. And then the other responses were just to him directly. But then you guys never talked about it publicly?
No, I reached out to him in DMs, right? Because he said in his video that he would like to talk to me.
Guys, we got to make this happen. I want to see this conversation.
No, this is
you
a dead... Well, it's a dead drama between me and him. Even if I like continue to get DMs about this.
Yeah, I mean, you said like guys are still DMing you about it, but you guys haven't talked about it. So shit.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. I want to see the boxing match or the live stream debate or something along these lines.
Lovely.
Thank you for walking me through the drama. What's the next drama going to be in League of Legends?
What's the next drama going to be? I don't even know.
Yeah.
What is the next drama?
You don't know? We're not like planning it out.
I don't know. Are we planning it out?
Someone
Oh, there's
said
the current,
it's
there's the
dating.
current, there's the current drama, but I don't actually want to talk about it right now because I don't know all the details on it. But it involves
Shit.
Michaela.
Okay. Did she make an oopsie?
So, huh? Apparently she did some shit, but I have not actually seen it yet.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I don't know.
Well, let me think. Is there anything else we got to go over? Now, okay. The next time there's a drama, I'll be here. Okay. I'm not missing any more dramas. Now I'm caught up with all the drama. Thank you for spending the time to catch me up on this sort of thing.
There's the Odo tweet drama? Wait, what's the Odo tweet?
Oh, I just ask and I receive. I ask for
Odoamne.
new drama and I get it.
What's the Odo tweet? Let me see. What's the Odo tweet? What's the Odo tweet? It's not drama? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, okay. It's the tweet. It's the tweet that says, "But maybe don't let that one guy from management run around and tell people that they shouldn't contact me and that I am retiring." So apparently, a guy in Rogue Management or something went around and told people that Odo's retiring. I mean, yeah. I mean, that should be career-ending if that's actually true.
If like he didn't, if Odo didn't say anything about retiring, if Odoamne didn't say anything about retiring, and then a manager says like, "Oh yeah, like don't contact him, he's retiring." Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Right.
That's like actually trying to not let him get on a team. But who knows what happened? Ooh.
Right.
Ooh, drama. Now we have LEC team drama.
We got LEC team drama. I mean, all the splits
we have to let
like a month. So we'll see. We'll see what actually ends up.
Dead for a month then? Is drama just dead for a month?
Drama's dead for. I mean, December's always a really bad month. December is like the solo queue. December's the solo queue month. December is where like teams are boot camping, so no one's really doing anything there. Rosters are all locked. We're all just waiting for the splits to begin, and yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do coaching. Are you gonna do coaching soon? Are you gonna do coaching?
No, I'm not gonna do. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking about bringing back public coaching, but I have to think about how I'm gonna do it. I think the patron angle is probably the way that I do end up going.
What's the patron angle? You do coaching privately and post on Patreon?
No, the patron angle is so that I don't have to inflate my price. I can just put some sessions behind a paywall.
Oh, you make a patron tier for a coaching session.
I make a patron tier for the logs of all the sessions, and in doing so, I don't have to ever inflate my price.
Okay. Oh, got it. Okay. So your price stays the same?
My price probably stays the same, yeah. But it's always been.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Or not always, but
your
like...
price stays the same, and then you record the session and post it on Patreon.
Yeah, and then some go on YouTube. Probably do that. I think Vigar doesn't even stream his sessions, right? He just puts them all on Patreon.
I don't know. I thought he streamed his coaching sessions, but maybe not.
Does he stream his coaching sessions? Okay.
I don't
know. I mean, I think that's it. Hold on, I'm gonna write you really quick.
Oh, you're asking me a question about... Oh, God. Here it comes. Oh, my God.
Huh?
Script message. Okay. Wait, you could... Okay. Wait. You could have said that. Am I gonna start?
No.
What?
No, because I gotta keep the VOD clean, you know?
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else really to talk about right now. I think it was good.
Yeah. I got a pack pretty soon. So
okay. All right.
So
I will let you go then, Mr. Waldo.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for talking to me.
Bye. See you later.
Bye.
Okay. Okay. So that's it with Max. I will try to figure out what else is going on. I have to go into a call with agency stuff right now. I have to go into a call with my agency. So I just got to do that. And then I have to go to Gangnam today, which is the other side of Seoul. I live on the western border, so I have to travel a couple hours today in Seoul and then back and stuff. So I have a lot of stuff to do. So that is it for this stream. It wasn't too long. It was 4 hours. roughly. But it was good. I always enjoy talking to Max, and then I'll know about other stuff with like coachings and OPGGs and other stuff coming soon. And then hopefully I'm able to make that YouTube video sometime soon. So I think that's it. So hope all of you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you all later. All right. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.